Welcome to All Things Good. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Carly, and today we're here with Greg from LBL Lighting, and he's going to teach us about the new Railtones, and we're going to get them installed in our lobby. So tell us about the new products.
Well, I'm super excited to be here at ATG. The new Railtones, we're unveiling a significant product that the market is super excited about, and we get to take the LBL low voltage rail systems that we've got installed all over the country, and we get to add wireless sound. So we'll add speakers that will be drawing power from the existing rail system, and then from either a portable device like my iPhone we're going to use in a little while, or from music files that you may have stored on your computer, or even, of course, standard RCA jacks that you would have on your home stereo. We get to wirelessly transmit sound to our rail system. So it's really pretty cool. We're excited about it.
That sounds great. We know you guys have a lot of different track lighting options. Does it fit on any track lighting, or?
It surely
LBL?
does. That's a great question. Well, LBL for sure. You definitely want to make it an LBL system, and
Absolutely.
we have many options. The system we happen to be using today is one of our fanciest systems, and it's the LED system, and most people don't have that, but I think we're here to demonstrate that it fits on all of our low voltage rail systems from LBL.
So Carly and I aren't exactly electricians, so how hard is this going to be to install?
I think you're going to be really, really pleasantly surprised. This is going to take us a few minutes, and it's really, really simple.
Perfect.
Now, you mentioned it goes on the low volt system. Is there still any kind of dangers involved? Any safety precautions we need to take with this?
Again, great questions, but no, not at all. The neat thing about the low voltage rail systems, and they've been in the marketplace for many, many years now, it's a 12 volt system, and that's not a dangerous voltage. And what we're going to be doing is mounting these speakers just like you see light fixtures mounted right now, and there's zero danger. We don't even have to turn it off.
That sounds great. Does it affect any of the lighting that's already there? Does it?
It's another great question. Look at each one of the speakers as an additional 15 watt light fixture, if you would. So while we're not drawing 15 watts typically, we need to know that when we size the system and put it in, and I want you to know that it's rarely an issue, but know that we have to know that the transformer has the capacity merely to handle 2 more 15 watt light fixtures. They just happen to be speakers this time.
Interesting. All right, that sounds great. We're really excited to open the box and take a look at what we have.
Well, let's get after it.
All right.
So we have our Railtones in the box, and we're going to open it up and see what's inside.
Perfect.
First, we have some directions and packing material. That's important. We don't want to lose the directions.
Looks like everything's really safe in there, which is great for shipping. All right, so what do you see, Jessica?
Well, it looks like we have 2 speakers right here, and we have this little piece. Greg, can you explain this piece to us?
I sure can. You know, we talked earlier about whether or not the speakers had to mount on a rail system. I probably should have explained that what you really have here, when you see this male-female pendant adapter that we talked about earlier, what we're really describing to you is any of our systems that utilize that male-female jack system, we're able to mount speakers there as well. So we sell a ton of light fixtures that are monopoint mounts. In fact, we'll show you that in a little while. Once we get through this, I'll show you another example of how we can mount the speakers. So really, you should view this as a great way to add sound to your space where you have any LBL lighting system, and we have a lot of options there.
Great. Okay, so we have a couple more pieces.
Let me give you a rundown. Yeah, so what this is kind of the backbone of the system. So you see the speakers, of course, and the speakers come in black or white, and in this particular case, one of my favorites is the satin nickel or satin chrome accent. We have that with bronze to match our bronze system. So the speakers, and then this particular device right here is called our transmitter, and it's kind of the backbone of the system. So we're going to draw power either from the USB port on our computer, whether it's our laptop or our desk system, and then this is going to transmit wirelessly easily up to 100 feet. Okay, and we can in many applications we can go either much further than that. But so that's the transmitter. You've seen the speakers. In this particular case, we ordered the kit so we can mount it on our rail system. So you see the 2 rail adapters. And then the remote control. This is how we're going to change the volume on our speakers, and it's how we're going to change the mode to reflect the style of the music we're listening to. And then our cable here enables us to plug this into our iPhone or plug it into another digital iPod or digital device. And then depending on how we choose to power the transmitter, we're either going to get our power from the USB port on our computer, or we're going to plug this device into the wall and pick up our power that way. Okay? So that's effectively everything in the box, and with this, we get wireless sound throughout the house.
It looks pretty simple. I like that there's just nice basic parts, and it's all laid out really well.
Absolutely, and the instructions are super easy to follow along, and I think you'll find that it's really kind of simple.
All right, let's try to install them.
Great.
All right, before we get started, we're going to take a look at the instructions and make sure we know exactly what we're doing. So luckily they come with really good instructions, which is great for us since we're not professionals.
All right, so the first we've got, they go over what's in the box, which is good. We've already been through that, and we have every piece. Let's see a little bit of the inside.
There's a little bit here on product specs as a reminder. I always like this. It reminds me when somebody's asking me questions. The transmitter, it says conservatively up to 100 feet from our audio source to the speakers. And it also mentions that the remote control up to about 30 feet. Okay, so just a nice reminder.
Good things to know before you go into it.
All right, it gives us a little more details about how the system works and that you can use it in multiple zones and with stereo and mono sound, and I think we'll talk about that a little bit more later. It also talks about location and mentions that you can dim them.
Yeah, I think it's important when they were designing the product, they knew that most of these low voltage rail systems were being dimmed in the field, and said they needed to make it compatible, so it sure is.
Great. All right, let's open it up and see what else is in here.
I love how visual the instructions are. It's going to make it a lot easier to put everything in. So it looks like first we have setting up the speakers. Can you tell us a little bit more about the different zones?
Yeah, to simplify, I think that the most important thing to know is that, let's say for instance, you have a low voltage rail system in the family room or in the TV room, and we want to get some sound there, and you might also have some mono point pendants maybe over the kitchen island, and you might want to incorporate some sound there, and then maybe even upstairs in the master bedroom where you also have some lighting that is compatible with the system. So that's 3 different systems, and we have the ability just by flipping the right switches on the speakers to have 3 different zones in the house for 3 different audio signals playing different music in 3 different spots in the house.
Good. Everyone in the family's happy.
There you go. There you go. I think this is super important here. What this gives you is a real simple graphical picture of how the system goes together. So, so many of us these days are storing sound files, music on our computer, and so here's an example of what we're going to do here in a minute. And there's the transmitter, not only getting its power from the USB port plugged in there, but also using that as our audio source, taking the music off the computer. So that's probably a very, very popular way that people are going to utilize the system today. And another way that we're going to do it today, you'll see an MP3 player there in the image, and we're going to use actually my iPhone where we have music stored, and we're going to plug the iPhone into that transmitter that you see there. And in that case, we're going to pull the power for the system or for the transmitter right out of the wall and just plug it right in. And then the third way is that we would plug into our home stereo and transmit sound wirelessly throughout the house from our own stereo.
All right, that sounds great. I think we're ready.
Great.
Let's get started. All right, we've read through the instructions. I think we're ready to get these speakers up. So I'm going to start by taking out the rail adapter and unscrewing this top piece. And that's just about as complicated as this whole process gets. And I'm going to attach it to the speaker so it's all ready for Carly to go when she's up there. And the speaker pivots, so I want to make sure to hold this pivot part right here so that I can screw it in really easily. Up on there. And then it's ready for Carly. Okay. All right, so let's put it up on our track lighting here. Just slides right on.
On. Nice and tight. How's it look?
Looks good.
Okay.
And then we'll turn it in so we can get the music right into the room where we want it.
All right, so we have the speakers up. That was really fast and easy. And where do we go from here?
First thing we wanted to do is take a look at the speakers and see that the LED indicator is on. It's on red, telling us that we have power to both of the speakers. And once we get an audio device plugged in, it'll take us a couple more seconds and it's going to turn blue.
Great. All right, let's go ahead and try taking some audio files off of the computer.
Sounds great.
Let's do that.
So we have our laptop out here, and what's this part called?
Okay, that's the transmitter. So why don't we do this then, Carly? Why don't we do this? Let's demonstrate a couple of different ways. So you say you have some sound on the computer already. You have some audio files?
Yes, I've got Symphony number 9.
Perfect. So we'll start with a little classical. So all you have to do is plug that transmitter into a USB port on your computer. And
all right.
Notice that we have some LEDs blinking on and off, and voila, we look over at the speakers and the LED is turned blue, so we know we're transmitting and the speakers are receiving the signal.
Okay, so let's...
I'm going to take the remote control and go ahead and open your music, get it started. There we go, we have music. And we have individual volume control on both speakers. And so we can balance the sound just the way we want it. We have different modes, rock or vocal, or different music modes. We can change, it's kind of an equalizer setting. That was how simple that was. So all we had to do was mount the speakers on there and then just find an audio signal, and it just automatically transmits up to 100 feet. We'll turn it down just a little bit. And then why don't we now
all right, let's try
close out the Beethoven, and we'll go to the iPhone and show you how easy that is. Okay, so we just grabbed a song file right off of the computer, so we know that that worked well. So why don't we use the iPhone now? And what I want to demonstrate this time is we're going to grab our power from a regular wall outlet.
Okay.
So I'm going to plug this into the transmitter, and we're going to plug it into the wall. I can use any outlet for that, and I'll just plug it into my iPhone.
Easy as that?
I guess that's a little Bruce Springsteen. It's just really, really simple.
Perfect.
So if we were to back up a little bit, we determined that we have music stored on the computer. We have music stored on our portable MP3 or phones, and then the other way, the only way we didn't demonstrate it is to plug the transmitter directly into our home stereos. And how long did it take us from the time we opened the box until right now? 10 minutes maybe?
10 minutes.
If that.
Really pretty simple, and all we did was kind of scan the directions quickly. So really simple stuff. I appreciate you guys' help, and that was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for helping us out.
You're sure welcome.
Thanks for showing us. All right, so I'm Carly, and
I'm Jessica, and our guest Greg.
And this was All Things Good about Railtones.